Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Hope you're all doing good. So let us begin it. So we have the mock test discussion for reasoning for IBPS Office Assistant Prelims exam. So it was the All India OMR based mock test conducted on 28th September 2025. Okay. So now before we go into the questions, okay, so let us look into the weightage of the questions that you have. Okay, so we'll discuss for both IBPS RRB clerks as well as IBPS RRB PO. We'll discuss for both and then we'll go to the questions. So let us look for IBPS clerk RRB, and then we will look for IBPS PO for RRB. So now in both cases, the duration for reasoning is 25 minutes. You will be given 25 minutes for answering the section for reasoning. You will have a total of 40 questions. So 40 questions in 25 minutes you will have to answer. Okay. So now the most of the questions, okay, the most important is puzzles. The most important you will have is puzzles. So for puzzles, you will have anywhere between 20 to 25 questions for puzzles out of 40 questions. And for IBPS PO, it will be somewhere 15 to 20 questions. Now, it can go up to 25 questions in one or other slots, but generally it is 15 to 20 questions. Okay. Then we have sequences, and then set of numbers and set of words. Okay, so these anywhere between 4 to 5 questions you will get in, but you will not get any questions in mains. PO rather. For IBPS PO RRB, you will not get questions from sequences, set of numbers, set of words. Okay, then there are some miscellaneous topics. Okay, in some mostly individual questions you will get anywhere between 2 to 3 questions you will have, and here also anywhere between 2 to 3 questions you will get miscellaneous topics. Like for instance, how many pairs of letters are there, each of which has as many letters between them as they have between them in English alphabet, like that. Or he will give you some operations in numbers. He will give you a number saying all even digits are added with 1, odd digits are subtracted with 2. So like that, those kind of questions, number operations, okay, those kind of questions are under miscellaneous. Anywhere between 2 to 3 you will get. Then there are some topics which we call as rotation topics. So rotation topics basically means he will not give all of these topics every time, but he will give you some of the topics, combination of topics in slots. He will change those. So under rotation you have topics like blood relations, then you have direction sense, okay, then you have syllogisms, then you have inequalities, okay, and then you also can have coding decoding. So these are what we call as rotation topics. means you will not get questions from all the topics every time. 2 or 3 topics together, he can give you questions. So from among these, anywhere between 11 to 12 questions you can expect. Okay. But when it comes to the PO exam, anywhere between 18 to 20 questions you can expect from these topics. So overall, if you check, there will be a total of 40 questions. Here also and here also, overall there will be a total of 40 questions. Okay, so that is what you have to look into as a split of the topics that you can expect in the exam. Okay, all right. Yes. Okay, so now let's look into the questions. Right, so here these questions are based on the following information. It says each of the 7 persons, A, B, C, W, X, Y, and Z, writes on a different day of the week starting from Monday through Sunday, not necessarily in the same order. The following information is known. So it says writes on a different day of the week starting from Monday to Sunday. So we fix the days, correct? So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Monday to Sunday we have. So now we need to see who is available on what day. Okay. And then the following information is known. He says B writes the document neither on Tuesday nor on Saturday. Okay. B is neither on Tuesday nor on Saturday. Right? Then only 2 persons write the documents between B and X. Okay. So only 2 people are there between B and X. But I don't know what is the order. B could be above X or before X or after X. Okay. Then at least 2 persons write the document after X. So at least 2 people after X. So that means you cannot have X on a Saturday or a Sunday because at least 2 people after X. So the latest X can be given was a Friday. Okay. Then he says either Y or A writes the document on a Friday. So it's either Y or A on a Friday. So on a Friday, it is either Y or A. Then you can rule out X also on a Friday. Correct? So X can be Thursday. Right. Then further what he says, C writes the document before X but after Z. Okay. So C writes the document before X but after Z. That means before X there are 2 people. Then I cannot have X on a Tuesday. I cannot have X on a Monday. Correct? Now, if I take X on a Wednesday, then above it is not possible to satisfy this. But below, leaving a gap of 2, B is going to come on a Saturday, which is not possible. That means X cannot be on a Wednesday also. So the only possibility that you can satisfy is taking X on a Thursday. So that in one case you can have B on a Monday, in the other case you can have B on a Sunday. 2 people between B and X. And in the first case, before X you have Z and C, so I can fix Z and C. Now here there are 3 positions, so we don't know where to fix Z and C. Correct? Right. Then next, the number of persons who write the document before W is same as number of persons who write the document after A. So before W is same as after A. So if before W is same as after A, you need to understand that this arrangement is not valid anymore, because I need W and A in two positions which are same from opposite ends. Means first from the top, first from the bottom, or second from the top, second from the bottom, third from the top, third from the bottom. That is not possible in the first case. Before W is same as after A. Now check here. If I fix a W in the second, that is Tuesday, before W1, A can be put Saturday, or interchange also. You can have Wednesday and Friday also. Correct? That is the possibility that we need to look at. So now what we can do is, so here I am going to take two cases. Now both the cases I am going to put B after. Okay, now since we know it is either Y or A, in one case I'll put Y, in the other case I'll put A. Okay, it is either Y or A. Now once I have A, I can fix a W here, because before W is same as after A. Now the possibility of W or A can happen here in the first case. W or A or W. Before W is same as after A. Correct? Then W writes the documents before X, but not on Wednesday. Okay, so W is before X. So W has to come before X, but W cannot be on a Wednesday. So that means the second case now is ruled out. So if W has to be before X, W is here, then A will be here. And then before X, you have Z and C. So you put Z and C, and that fixes our final arrangement. Correct? Yeah. So now based on this, let's have a look into the questions. Yes. So who writes the document on Wednesday? So on Wednesday, who is writing it? It is C, third option. Then in a certain way, B is related to Friday. So let us check how is that. He says B. B is here. B is related to Friday. So the person is alternate after with a gap of 1 day. Then in the same way, Y is related to Wednesday. Yeah, Y and Wednesday. Again, it's the same. The person is after the day in the alternate position. Correct? Now, following the same, which of the following is X related to in the same pattern? Now, see, this is where you need to be careful and understand the data is the word related. So you have a element before related and element after related. So same way here also, X related to. So that means now I need a day. But what is the relation? The person is after the day with an alternate 1 day gap. So X is here. So that means the day that I have to identify is going to be a Tuesday. So that is what we have to look into. So Tuesday is what we have as our answer. And that is available choice 2. Correct? Right. The next, how many persons write the document between A and Z? Okay. So between A and Z means between Monday and Saturday, how many are there? There are 4 people. So third option, 4. Then who writes the document immediately before B? So immediately before B you have is A, and that's available in choice 2. Okay. Then, right. So those are the questions you have in that set. Now the next we have is, sequences. Now these questions are based on the following letter sequence. So you have this letter sequence. Now he's asking how many Ds are there in the above sequence which are immediately followed by a consonant. D followed by a consonant. So this doesn't work. Then D followed by a consonant, this works. D followed by a consonant, this works. Then D followed by a consonant, this works. D again, this doesn't work because that's a vowel. Then D followed by consonant works. D followed by consonant works. Then D followed by a consonant, this also works. So in total, there are how many? 6, and that's available in choice 1. So understand the information, look through the sequence, get your answer. Okay. Then, if all E's are removed from the above sequence, then which of the following letter is 7th to the left of 3rd letter from the right end? So we know this is 3 plus 7. That means total I need to find the 10th letter from the right end. Because from the right end, I need 3rd, correct? So from the right end means from here, I need 3rd. Then I have to go to the left. So I have to count to 7 more. So that is why to this 3, you add 7. So from whichever end he says, if you are getting the opposite direction, you add that number. If you are getting the same direction, you subtract that number. That is how you answer this. So I need 10th letter from the right end. But all E have to be removed. Okay, you just don't count E at all. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10th letter you have is H, and that is available in choice 2 as the answer. Understood? Now he says if all the vowels are dropped from the above sequence, okay, then which letter is 6th to the left of 15th letter from the left end? See, there is a correction actually in this question, okay. So I think it was given 15th to the left of 6th letter from the left end, okay. No, it has to be reversed. The information was not correctly sequenced. Now this is the actual correct question, 6th to the left of 15th letter from the left end. So again the same thing, like I said, whichever end. So he says 15th letter from the left end. To that I have to move to the left side. So from the left end you are counting 15, but then you have to move to the left side. Means you are going back. So that is why it is -6. Means totally I need to count 9th element from the left end. So whichever end, if you are getting the same direction, you subtract. If you are getting the opposite direction, you add. That's the idea, to get the final element. Understood? So 9. So 9th I have to count, but all the vowels should be dropped. Okay. So we have 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9th. So 9th letter we have is G. And G is available to us in the 3rd option. Okay. That's how we do this. Right. The next one. If all the consonants are replaced with the next letter in English alphabet, then which of the following is 13th from the right end? So from the right end, see, you don't start replacing all the consonants unnecessarily. Be very, okay, smart about it. You just count the 13th letter from the right end first, change only that. That will give me my answer. You don't need to change all the consonants here. Correct? Am I right? So count the 13th from the right end. So we have 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9, 12. See, this is the 13th. Now, this is a consonant. Change it to the next, because that is what he says. All the consonants are replaced by the next letter. So what is that you are going to get? The answer is I. That is there in choice 2. Okay. Right. The next one. How many such E's are there in the above sequence which are immediately followed by a vowel? E followed by a vowel. Okay. So this is the first one followed by a vowel. Then this is not followed by a vowel. Then this is also not followed by a vowel. Then next E also not followed by a vowel. Then next E not followed by a vowel. Yes, this is another E which is followed by a vowel. And this E is not followed by a vowel. So I need E's that are immediately followed by a vowel. So overall, there are only 2 E's that satisfy. And that is available in 4th option. Correct? Okay. Right. So those are your questions on sequences. The next we have is 8 persons, A, B, C, D, S, T, U, and V, live on a 8-storied building. Each person lives on a different floor, but not necessarily in the same order. Ground floor is numbered as first floor. The floor above the ground floor is numbered second floor, and so on. The following information is known. So 8 floors, 8 persons. Okay. So let's take that. So we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So 8 floors, and we have 8 persons to fix. Right. Now going through the information, he says only 4 persons live between the floors on which A and S live. Okay, only 4 persons between A and S. So I don't know where is A, where is S for now. Let us hold off. Then further, only 2 persons live above the floor on which U lives. So above you, only 2 persons. That means U has to occupy 6th floor. So that only 2 persons above you. Then D does not live on an odd numbered floor, and at least 2 persons live above and below the floor on which D lives. So D is not on an odd number. That means definitely D has to be in an even number. But he also says at least 2 people live above and below the floors on which D lives. So that means D cannot occupy the second, because below second there is only 1, and D cannot occupy the 8th. 6th is already fixed. So the only position D can occupy is 4th, such that above D and below D, at least 2 persons are available. Correct? Right. Then further, what do we have? 3 persons live between the floors in which A and C live. Okay. So he says 3 persons are there between A and C. Now A is the common person. So let us look into it. Now what happens if I fix A in the 8th? Then leaving a gap of 3, you cannot have C. So A is ruled out here. Now what happens if I give A in the 7th? Okay. Or what happens if I give S in the 8th? Now leaving a gap of 4, you can have A here, because 4 persons are there between S and A. Then again leaving a gap of 3, you can have C here. So that way you get one case. Okay. Then again we have U and D here. Let us see what else I can have. Now what happens if I give A here, leaving a gap of 3, you can have C. Okay. Then leaving a gap of 4, you can have S also. So that means, now what happens if I put S here? Let us interchange and check. Leaving a gap of 4, you can have A, but leaving a gap of 3, you cannot have C. So S cannot be here, but you can have A, then 3 and C, and then you can have S. Now, is there any other possibility? Because now 5th floor is there. So if I take 5th floor, it is not possible. Below there are only 4 floors. I will not be able to fix A as SA. Correct? And we have removed A in the second. Now what happens if I fix A in the first, leaving a gap of 3, you may have C, but leaving a gap of 4, you cannot have S, because 6th floor is already occupied by U. So you cannot have A or S here also. So that means these are the 2 cases we will have to look into. Understood? Right. Then further what he says, B lives neither on an odd numbered floor nor on the 8th floor. So okay. So B is neither on an odd number nor on the 8th. Okay. So B cannot be here and here. Then in that case, this is ruled out. The second arrangement is ruled out, because 8th floor cannot have B. Then 5th and 1st are odd numbers. You cannot have B. Then what about here? Now 5th and 1st you cannot have, but B can be available in the 2nd floor. Correct? Then finally he says the floor on which T lives is below the floor on which V lives. So T is below V. So T is below V. And that way we can have our final arrangement. Got it? Right. Now coming to the questions. Now, how many persons live above the floor on which V lives? So above V, how many are there? 3. And that's available in choice 4. Then who lives on the third floor? So who is on the third floor? It is A, first option. Correct? Then how many persons live between T and C? Okay, between T and C, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are there. And that's available in the fourth option. Then which of the following statements is true? He says, okay, D lives below B. No, D is above B. A lives above S. No, A is below S. C lives on an even numbered floor. No. Only one person lives between V and B. No. So you choose none of these. None of these are true. Correct? Okay. Now next one is in each of the following questions, 3 statements followed by 2 conclusions marked 1 and 2 are given. Consider the statements to be true, even though they seem to be at variance with commonly known facts, and find out which of the given conclusions logically follows the statements disregarding the commonly known facts, and mark your answer as. So you have these common options. So this is syllogisms, deductions. Okay, so now you have this. So let's look into it. So we have some coals are marks. Then we have all fences are borders, and no border is a coal. Okay, so we have some coals are marks. Then we have no border is a coal, and all fences are borders. So this is the combined diagram we have for the statements. That's the combined diagram we have, correct? Now coming to the conclusions. So what is it that we have? No mark is a fence, and here he says at least some marks are fence. So they are complementary pairs. We have complementary pairs given. So when we have complementary pairs, we start with the negative. No mark is a fence. Correct. Mark is separate, fence is separate. Negative satisfies. So the first one, which is negative, in the basic diagram, it satisfies. That means it's complementary, which is the exact opposite, will never satisfy the basic diagram. The same diagram cannot satisfy 2 opposites. So that is why, because the negative satisfies, you are allowed to check in the alternate diagram. And the complementary pair for no mark is a fence is the second one. That is some marks are fence. Now, can I have some marks are fence? Like this. So what I'm doing is I'm simply moving these two here. So my main is to satisfy the complementary. Now, is this satisfying? Yes. Some marks are fences satisfying. But my original relation should not be changed. The original is no border is a coal. And still B and C are not touching each other. No border is a coal. So definitely it satisfies. So that is why my answer to this is going to be either 1 or 2 follows. Either 1 or 2 follows. Correct? So understand the information so that you will know the movement of the circles. Can I move a circle here and there while maintaining my original relation mentioned in the statements? That is what we need to look into. Correct? Okay. So the answer for this is either or, choice 3. Okay. Next, we have all whites are blues, then all blues are reds. Okay. So all whites are blues, all blues are reds, and then we have only a few white are green. Okay. So only a few white like this are green. So there should be some white that should never be inside green. That is what is meant by only a few. Only some white are green, like the shaded portion. There must always be some part of white circle, never inside green circle. That's the indication we have here. Okay. So this is going to be your combined diagram. Okay. Now let's look into the conclusions. Now, first one says some blue are not green. Okay. Now check here. See, these are some of my blue that are not inside green. Correct. Negative satisfies. So we take the alternate diagram and go for the complementary. Complementary is what? All blue are green. Now check here. If I take the green circle, okay, and I put all the blue inside green, then since all the white are already inside blue, so all the white also will go inside green. But can all the white go inside green? No. See, this indication allows you it cannot go inside green because there is only a few white that are green. So what is happening? The complementary is not satisfying. Correct? The complementary is used to prove the negative as wrong. So since the complementary is not satisfying, I can clearly see that the conclusion one follows because it is a negative conclusion. I am unable to satisfy that. I am unable to satisfy that. So first one follows. I am unable to prove the negative wrong. So first one follows because the complementary fails. Right? I cannot take all the blue inside green because white also goes inside green. Not allowed. Same way, at least some red or blue. Check here. Can I have some red or blue? Yes. See, look at this same white shaded portion that I had here. Are they also coming inside red? Yes. Are they coming inside blue? Yes. So there are at least some red that are blue? Yes. So I can say both follow. Both follows. Fifth option. Correct? Right. Then next. Yes. Now we have all liquids are shapes. Okay. Then only a few fluids are liquids. Okay. So like this. Only a few fluids are liquids. So there should be some fluids, never inside the liquids. Some part of fluid should always be outside liquids. And no flow is a shape. Okay, so this is fluids and no flow is a shape. So this is going to be our combined diagram. Now coming to the conclusions, some liquids are flows. Tell me, are some liquids flows here? No. Some liquids are fluids, I know, but not some liquids are flows, it doesn't work. Positive conclusion doesn't satisfy, does not follow. Then we have some shapes can never be. Now, whenever you have can never be, it must always be understood as are not. It is a negative conclusion. So some shapes are not fluids because he is using the word never. Never is a definite word. So it is not a possibility. It's a definite conclusion. It is a negative conclusion. Some shapes are not fluids. Okay, let us see. See, these are some of my shapes that are not inside fluids. Correct? Some shapes are not fluids. So what we can do, I can take the complementary, which is all shapes are fluids. Now, if I take that, so this is the fluids. So I'm taking all the shapes are fluids. Then since I already have all liquids are shapes, the liquids will be inside. Now, I need to maintain my original relation. So what is my original relation? This is my original relation. Only a few fluids are liquids. Only a few fluids should be liquids. Yes. See, there are some fluids that are not inside the liquid circle. So I am able to satisfy this complementary. To prove the negative wrong, I am able to satisfy the complementary. So all the shapes can be inside fluids. So what is happening? I have proved the complementary. Because I have proved the complementary, the given negative does not follow. Correct? So it is neither nor two follows. Correct? Yeah. Okay. Coming to the next one. Yes. Now it says 12 persons are sitting in two parallel rows containing 6 persons each in such a way that there is an equal distance between adjacent persons. Row 1, UVW, X, Y, and Z are seated and all of them are facing south. In row 2, OP, QR, ST are seated and all of them are facing north. Therefore, in given seating arrangement, each person seated in row 1 faces exactly one person seated in row 2. Okay, it's a 2-row arrangement. So let's consider that. 6 people facing south, and each of those 6 people are exactly facing these 6 people in the north. Correct? So now we have UVWXYZ is south. Oh, UVWXYZ. And then OPQRST facing north. Correct. Okay. So now let's see. Condition 1. X sits at one of the extremes and faces the person who is third to the left of O. Okay. So X should be one of the extremes and third to the left of O. Left is our left side because O comes here. So this is the only extreme X can sit. So X is facing the person who is third to the left of O. So O will be here. Then only third to the left is possible. Correct? Right. So that is the only possible arrangement you will get. Okay. Right. Then the next one we have is U sits 2 places away from W, who. So whenever you have who, it is W is second to the right of Z. Okay. Okay. So U is 2 places away from W, who is second to the right of Z. Okay. So U, W and Z, they all come in south facing. Okay. 2 places away from W, second to the right of Z. See, for south facing, right is our left side. So Z has to be here, then only second to the right is W, and then you can have U. So U is 2 places away from W, means leaving a gap of 1 person. U is 2 places away from W, and then W is second to the right of Z. Okay. Right. And then we have R faces Y, who. Again, who means person just before, does not sit adjacent to Z. Okay. So Y does not sit adjacent to Z. So Y will be here and R will be here. That means the remaining person you have is UV. So V will be put there. Correct? Then what else? U faces P, who means P is adjacent to Q. Okay. So U is facing P and P is adjacent to Q. So Q will be put here. And then S sits at one of the extremes. So S is sitting at one of the extremes. And then the remaining person is T. So that concludes your arrangement. Okay. Right. Now questions, who sits opposite to V? So opposite to V you have is T, and that is available in 5th option. Then 4 of the following 5 are alike in a certain way and hence form a group. Find the one who doesn't belong to that group. Okay. X, S, Y, Q, Z. So X, S, Y, Q, Z. Okay. So you can see that X, Q, Z and S are extreme positions. Y is the one which is not in an extreme position. That's the odd one out. Then in a certain way, X is related to P, in the same way U is related to R. So X is related to P, okay, and U is related to R. Okay, that is the relation you see. Same pattern, who is related to T. So we know who is related to T, the answer is going to be W. Choice 2. Correct? Then who sits third to the right of W? Okay, now see W is here. For south facing, right is our left side. So first to the right is Y, second to the right is U, third to the right is X. So X is third to the right of W. Correct? Okay, next, who among the following are adjacent to P? Adjacent to P, you have Q and R, and that's available in third option, Q and R. Okay. Okay. Now, next one is about set of numbers. Some instructions will be given. We have to follow that. Right. So now 22 says if all the digits within the number are arranged in ascending order. So within the number, if I arrange them in ascending order like this. Correct? Then what is the sum of second digit of the second number from the left hand? So second digit of the second number from the left hand is 6. And third digit of the first number from the right hand. So third digit of the first number is 5. So summation. So total we will have is 11. And that is okay, just a minute. Yes, 11. And that is available in the first option. That is available in the first option. So follow the instructions, you will get your answer. Next, similar, if 1 is subtracted from the odd digit of each number. So 1 is subtracted from the odd digit of each number. Okay. So we have 8, 2 and 8. Then here 6, 6, 2. Then 2, 4 and this is 6. Then this is 8, 2 and 0. And then this is 4, 0 and 4. So 1 is subtracted from odd digit of each number, then product of second digit of the second highest number. So second highest number is 820 and second digit is 2. Okay, and third digit of the least number. Now least number is 246 and third digit is 6. So what is that product? 6 into 2. You are going to get 12, and that's available in fourth option. Understood? Okay. Then if the numbers are written in ascending order from left to right, see, it says numbers are written in ascending order from left to right. Which number is the second from the right end? Means second highest number. Correct? So we have highest number is 931, second highest is 839. So that is going to be my answer, 839. Right? Okay. Then next, if 1 is subtracted from the first digit of each odd number. Okay. 1 is subtracted from the first digit of each odd number. So here this is an odd number. 1 is subtracted from the first digit. So here we are going to get 739. Then this is an even number. You write it as it is. 1 is subtracted 247. First digit of every odd number. Here 1 is subtracted 831. And here 315. Okay. And all the numbers are written in descending order from left to right. Okay, then how many numbers do not change their positions? Okay, all the numbers are written in descending order from left to right. Okay, so we have 831 first, then 762. Okay, this is not changing. Then 739, 315 and 247. So everything else is changing except for this one, 762. So that means there is only one number. That is the third option. How many numbers do not change their position? Third option. Correct? Okay. Then if 1 is subtracted from the even digit of each number. So every number 1 is subtracted from the even digit. So this you are going to get 739. Then this is 751. This is 337. This is 931. And this is 315. 1 is subtracted from the even digit of every number. Then which number among the original number will become the second highest? Now, which is the second highest? 751. So which among is the original number? 762. And that's available in choice 3. That will be the second highest. Correct? Yeah. Okay. So those are the questions you have in that Next, we have is 7 persons are comparing their heights. Each of them is of a different height. The following information is known. Okay, so it's about comparisons. So 7 persons, one being the tallest, and as you go down, the height keeps on decreasing, 7 being the shortest. That is how we usually arrange comparisons, from top to bottom in the decreasing order of the parameters. Okay. Now he says G is a taller than B, but and or but refers to first person, shorter than K. So taller is above, shorter is below. That is one reason why we put them in the decreasing order. So G is above B, G is below K. Okay, so we have G above B, below K. Then height of O is 5.6 feet. Only 3 persons are shorter than G. Okay, so we have O is 5.6 feet and only 3 persons are shorter. That means G will be fixed in the fourth such that only 3 people are below. Okay. Then further, R is taller than O, but and or but refers to first person, that is R, shorter than K. So R is above O, below K. So we have R above O, below K. Okay. Then further, R is taller than G, but again is R, shorter than W. So R is above G, below W. So R is above G, but below W. Okay. And then we have B is taller than S, height of S is 5.9. So we have B taller than S and height of S is 5.9. So that clearly tells you that S is taller than O. Now basing on this, look at below G. How many different people are there? 3 different people are there. So below G you have 3 positions. Those 3 people will fix in that order, B, S and O. Correct? Then above G you have R, and above R you have both K and W. So definitely R has to occupy the third. Then the first 2 positions we don't know, because between K and W I have no information who is taller or who is shorter. So that way we can have our final arrangement. Correct? Yes. Now based on this, let's have a look into the questions. How many persons are taller than W? Means before W. Here it is given in a horizontal way. So before W. I don't know because W's position is not fixed, so cannot be determined. Yes. Then next, if R plus S is 12.1. Okay. So we know S height is 5.9. Correct. So from there I can get R. So 12.1 minus 5.9. So which is 6.2. And then B plus O is given as 11.6. So O we know is 5.6. So B is going to be 6. So we have R is 6.2, B is 6. Now he's asking what is R plus B. So we have our answer, which is 12.2. Correct? Then what can be the height of R? Now see, we know R is before S and O. So I need to have a value more than 5.9. So the only option that is there is the third option. Can be, possibility. Right? Okay, so those are the questions you have in that. The next one is inequalities. In the questions given below, the relationship between the different elements is shown in the statements. These statements are followed by conclusions. Mark your answer as. So you have them common options. So let's see. Okay, so now he wants a conclusion between M and A. Now check here. This is what you have from M to H. And then this is what you have from H to A. That is how you get M to A. Correct? So by looking at this, I can get a relation from A to M. So A to H, then H to R, R to M. So if I go directly like this, the common inequality you have is less than, correct? So I am going to get A less than M. So when I reverse this, I'll get M greater than A, which is not a match. So one does not follow. So that is how we get. Then C to G, okay? So here we have C to A, then A to G in the reverse. Correct? So C to A, as you can see, equal to is simply to replace the alphabet. Then I'll get less than or equals A and A less than G. So we have C less than or equals A less than G. So the result is what? Less than. So C less than G. That is a match. So my answer will be only 2. Follows. Correct? Yes. Then next, P to R he wants. So check here, from P to T I have and T to R I have. See, P to T in the forward direction, you have less than or equals, correct? So P less than or equals T, but T to R also in the forward direction, you have greater than or equals R. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to get any relation because of opposite inequalities. So one does not follow. Now, same way, I want a relation from N to T, okay? So I have, check here, T to L and L to N. So I'll get a relation from T to N. Once I get a relation from T to N, you can reverse it. But unfortunately, from T to L, again, as you can check, opposite inequalities. So I will never be able to. Or for that matter, L to N also, you have opposite inequalities. Okay. Or there is also one more T, right? So by looking at T to N here, we are unable to do it. But maybe if we look from here, that also should be checked. Okay. We need to keep our eyes open. So from T to L, L to N is not going to work out. Okay. Let us not do that then. Now, what happens if I do from T to J and then J to N? If I do like that. So T to N, you're writing in the reverse. So everywhere I can put greater than or equals, greater than or equals. So I have T, P and J. And then from J, again greater than or equals N. Right? So greater than or equals is common. So I am going to get T greater than or equals N. So when you reverse it, you will definitely get N less than or equals T. So in this way, I am able to get a relation from N to T. So yes, here I can get my answer as only 2. Correct? Yeah. Then next. So we have S to K relation. Okay. So I have S to B and B to K. So if I do it in the reverse, I have less than or equals, less than, which is S, Y and B. And from B also I have less than K. So everywhere less than is common. So between S and K, you have less than. It's a perfect match. So 1 follows. Then what about the next D to B? Okay. So I have, yes, D to Y in the reverse. So D greater than Y and then Y to B again in the reverse, but less than B. Unfortunately, opposite signs, I don't know. So when you don't know, we cannot say. So the answer is only 1 follows. Okay. Right. Okay, then next we have is 8 friends. So 8 friends sit around a circular table such that, okay. So he has not given any direction also. So we will consider facing the center. So we have a circle. So we have 8 people. And all are facing the center. Okay. Such that B sits 2 places away to the left of H. Okay. So wherever you put H, 2 places away to the left. Left is clockwise, so you can put B here. Correct? Then no 2 of E, F and H are sitting either adjacent or opposite each other. Okay. So no 2 of E, F and H. So neither E nor F should be adjacent to H. Neither E nor F should be opposite to H. So no 2 of E, F and H. Neither EF nor FH nor EH cannot be adjacent or opposite. So E and F also cannot be adjacent or opposite to one another. That's the idea. Okay. Then C sits 3 places away to the right of A. Okay. So C is 3 places away to the right of A. So for that, now where all I cannot have A, we need to check. Okay. Then is there any other information? Okay. So we have E is opposite A and D is opposite G. So E has to be opposite A also. So C is 3 places away to the right and E is opposite A. Okay. So C is 3 places away to the right of A. Okay. Now, can I give A here? Now, right is anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. So you can have C here and opposite A you can have E. Okay. Then can I have A here? 3 places. Then opposite you can have E. Okay, that is also there. Then can I have A here? Opposite A, you need E. So B cannot be. Then here also you can remove A. Okay. Then can I have A here? So 3 places to the right. First, second, third. Not possible. Can I have A here? First, second, third. Not possible. So basically, there are 2 positions where you can have A. There are 2 positions where you can have A. So if I take that also as a possibility, so we have H, then we have B here. Then in one case, I will put A here, then E here, and then C here. In the other case, I will put A here, E here, and then C here. Correct? And what else we have? Finally, he says, and D is sitting opposite G. So if D is opposite to G, okay, so this is the opposite we have. D is opposite to G. So this is a D or G. This is G or D. But then unfortunately, who is going to come here? F. But F cannot be adjacent to E. So this is ruled out. So from here, this is where you get D or G, G or D, and then you can have F here. They are not adjacent. So this is your final arrangement. Correct? Yeah. So now questions, who sits opposite to C? So opposite to C, you have is H, choice 2. Then who sits 3 places away to the right of E? So right is anti-clockwise, first, second, third. It is H, choice 4. Then if H is adjacent to D, okay. So if H is adjacent to D, so basically is asking us to put D here and G here. So if H is adjacent to D, then who among the following is adjacent to G? So adjacent to G you have is either C or F. So F is not there, but you definitely have C. So first option. Correct? Okay, then who is sitting 2 places away to the right of A? So A is here, right is anti-clockwise, 2 places away, second position, either G or D. So cannot be determined. If suppose the question was who can be, then you pick anyone. Correct? Because in this case it is cannot be determined. Okay. The next, yes, we do have blood relation. Okay, so let's take this. So it says A is a sister to B. So A is a female, sister to B. So I'm putting a circle around the alphabet to denote as a female, square around it to denote as a male. A is a sister to B. Now B is the father-in-law to X. So B is a father-in-law, male, to X. So that means B has a child and that child is married to X. So spouse's father is father-in-law. So X has a spouse, spouse's father is B. Okay. Then who? So who means X is the sister of V. Okay. So X is a female. So X is a sister to V. So that means there is a male here. B has a son. Okay. Then further, Q is the only son of R. Okay. So I don't know where that is. So Q should be the only son to R. We'll come to that. Q is the only son to R. I don't know where that is. We'll come to that. Then R is the grandmother of X's only child. So X should have only one child, correct? And R is a grandmother to that. So that means it is R should be given here. B. B's wife is R, because R is a grandmother to X's only child. Okay. Now once I have R, I can have Q. Q is a son to R, only son. Okay. Then further, V is a male. Okay. So V is identified as a male. Then M is the niece of V. So M is a niece. So siblings daughter is niece. So for V, M should be a niece. So that's how the relation works. Correct? And then there are only 2 married couples in the family. Is that satisfying? Yes, there are only 2 married couples in the family. So this is going to be your final family tree. Okay. Right. Now questions. How is B related to M? So how is B related? B is father's father. It is grandfather. Then how is Q related to V? So Q related to V. So how is Q related? He's asking. So from V we have to check. So V has a sister X, and sister's husband becomes a brother-in-law. So fourth option. Okay. Then how is A related to R? So from R we have to check. So R has a husband, and that husband has a sister. So spouse's sister becomes sister-in-law. Okay. Right. Then one last question. Now, how many such pairs of letters are there in the word absolute, which have as many letters between them as they have between them in the English alphabet in both forward and backward directions? So you take the word absolute. Now we need to find the pairs in both forward as well as backward directions. So you start counting the alphabets, because the condition is pairs of letters, as many letters between them as they have between them in English alphabet. So from A, you count alphabetical order. So from A, you have a B in the alphabet. Here also you have a B. That's a pair. Then you continue. C, D, E, F, G, H. None of them is a match. Then with B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Not there. Then with S, T, U, V, W, X. Not there. With O, P, Q, R, S. Then with L, M, N, O. With U, V, W. Then with T, T, U. Correct? So in the forward direction, you have only one pair. Count the alphabetical order from whichever letter you start. Then see how many are a match. Then look at from E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. None of them is a match. Then with T, you have a U. That is one pair. Then V, W, X, Y, Z. Not there. Then with L, M, N, O, P. Then with O, P, Q, R. Then with S, T, U. With B, C. So in both directions, in total, you are getting 2 pairs. And that is available in second option. Yes, that is correct. Haji Mansoori, yes. Option 2 is correct. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that concludes our reasoning discussion for RRB assistant exam, clerk exam. Okay, so hope whatever is discussed is understood. So thank you. Okay, and goodbye.